A Hawaiian teenager surfer shows off his skills when he takes to the snow slopes in Vermont.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with
Michelle,
Andre,
Louise,
and me, Emily. We're a family-friendly podcast where we pick a new Disney movie each week. We watch it, share our thoughts, and then relate it to pop culture, fandoms, and anything else that pops into our heads. Enjoy!
hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 84.
wait, is 84?
Yeah, that's correct.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of or.
84.
Yes.
I like it.
You guys, we're sugared up. We just got back from a Christmas parade. And what is it, the 23rd of Christmas right now that we're speaking on? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What?
I believe-
23rd of Christmas? What are you talking about?
this episode is dropping on Monday the 9th of December.
I'm in the future. They're not.
The 23rd of December.
I'm in the future. Everybody's in the present.
I mean,
Get with the program.
Technically, we're in the past and they're in the present.
Oh, anyways. What movie are we doing?
I'm done.
This week,
I'm already done.
we are talking about 1999's Disney Channel original movie, Johnny Tsunami.
Johnny Did that song play in this movie?
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, this movie was released on Disney Channel in July of 1999. It was directed
Did you say it was
by,
like 2 or 3 months after Smart House?
It was the month after Smart House. Smart
That's
House came
insane.
out. Smart House came out in June, and Johnny Tsunami came out in July.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy mother.
In 1999, they did 12 movies that they released on the Disney
In 1
Channel.
year?
In 1 year. Mm-hmm. One every month.
Okay, 99.
And I think they did that for several years. I remember looking forward to a new movie every month. Yeah.
I remember that too, but like, how did they
Just so
have
you
time
know,
to make all
Luis
those
is
movies?
also talking. He's just not talking into a
Oh, yeah,
microphone.
he's just nowhere
Get
near.
your mic. He's
his
holding the
mic.
baby.
If you just talk loud enough, you can probably reach from there.
Yep. Did you hear him?
That's good enough. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So every month a new Disney Channel original movie would come out, and this one, which came out in July, was a surf/snow movie.
They thought it was a summer movie, but it was a winter movie too.
You know what's really hilarious about this is that when we chose this movie, Andre was like, it's great because it's about snow. And I was like, no, this is the Hawaiian guy, Andre.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was watching it and was like, they're in Hawaii for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and the
only,
rest
like,
of
yeah.
it is in the snow. And I rememred no snow.
You didn't remember the snow at all?
No.
Okay, well, so let's do first
Cool
impressions.
runnings.
Cool runnings.
Cool runnings in not even in reverse. It's the same.
Yeah, basically. All right, Andre.
Yeah, it actually is cool running.
I want your first impression, like we're doing with this DComs. First impression as a kid, first impression upon this viewing.
Okay. As a kid, this movie was awesome. This movie made me think that snowboarding was something that I wanted to do.
You who hate the cold?
Uh-huh. Correct. That's how cool Johnny Capahala made snowboarding look.
Okay.
Him and Sam. Yeah, so I remember liking it a lot. It was a cool movie. And upon this viewing, I remembered a lot of it. Like, I remembered the principal specifically for whatever reason.
That's
Principal?
weird.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That's
I was like,
super
hey,
weird.
it's that guy.
Okay.
And then, and when I was a kid, I enjoyed this movie like less than Smart House, which we just watched. But upon this viewing, I like this movie way more than Smart House.
All right. That was a good first impression.
Thank you.
Luis, what was your first impression of the Johnny Tsunami? Did you like it? As a kid? He said no, everybody.
He just said
Shaking
no.
his head.
He said no.
All
Emily,
you get is no.
first impression as a kid, first impression now.
Well, obviously, I don't remember I'm going to say I don't remember my first impression because I didn't even remember the snow. So, I don't remember now.
Yeah, now
I
you
don't know. I don't know.
You remember the poster is what you're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I know that image. You know
yes.
what I mean?
And I remember
Or maybe
the name.
you saw so many of the commercials for it, but...
Oh, and I knew... Well, we'll talk about that. I knew specific things, but I think it's because they were in commercials.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
specific, like, things that
Maybe
they
you
said.
only saw the commercial for it.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe.
you missed
I
this
don't know.
one.
But I will say, after watching it, this is my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was so good.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot.
Not a lot.
It was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as a kid, I remember liking this movie because water. Duh. I like water. I vividly, I remember
For 10 minutes?
I remember the snow, and very specifically, I remember Sam as his best friend. So cool. Like, I remember watching this a lot as a kid and really liking it, but I don't think I remembered it as vividly as I did Smart House, where I was, like, quoting everything, really, really liked it. So I think I'm with Andre. I think I probably liked Smart House way better as a kid than this movie, but I 110% ship this movie. I will watch it again right now. It's really good.
Oh yeah, I will. I could rewatch it right now.
And I felt bad because Andre gave Smart House a 9, so I don't know what you're going to give this. You'll find out.
A foolish rubric.
It was very foolish because and this movie held up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because some movies don't. The acting doesn't now. I want to talk about the acting in this movie because I thought it was great.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Lots of good people.
It was good.
In this cast.
So, we have a young boy named Johnny Capahala. His name is
Are we
not.
starting with the plot because I
Yes.
thought we were gonna like talk about Luis or Andre or something.
Well,
we
we're
have
gonna
a
talk about
young
them.
boy.
Oh, our
Name.
husbands are young boys.
I don't know.
I'm appalled for both of us, Andre, because
Yeah,
we are
dude.
definitely young men.
Young men.
Very, very young man.
He's probably, what is he, like 12 or 13?
Yeah, I think he's
He's like
13.
12. Andre and I were making the comment though. So he's this kid and he grows up surfing, right? He lives in Hawaii. His grandfather was a famous surfer named Johnny Tsunami. So his name is not Johnny Tsunami.
Oh, I was totally like.
His name
What?
is Johnny
Yeah.
Capahala.
As soon as I saw the movie, I was like, wait, what? He's not Johnny
And
Tsunami? I forgot.
I'm assuming he's named after his grandfather, whose
absolutely.
name is Johnny,
Mhm.
which is interesting to me because his
His
dad,
dad.
who is his father's son, doesn't really like his dad, but
He
he named his
hates-
son Johnny. We'll get into that. But the comment that I have to make is there's just an opening scene where Johnny is surfing. But it ain't Johnny. That is a man surfing
Oh
in
God,
that
I
ocean.
thought that the whole time.
Yes.
Every single time it's supposed to be Johnny surfing, this is a middle-aged man.
So this movie has a ton of like really cool, really good-looking like sports shots.
Yes.
You know,
Totally.
of surfing, skiing, and snowboarding.
It ain't Johnny.
And so all of the main actors are like 12, 13, 14, 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then every time it cuts to them doing a cool sports stunt, it's a 45-year-old man
For
who
sure.
is a complete expert in that field of snowboarding,
Snowing.
surfing, and skiing.
Hilarious.
And, you know, they normally try to shoot it from far enough away that you can't really tell, but you can absolutely tell 100% of the time that it's
Yeah, it's the size.
not the young.
It's not so much the
young
face
people.
because the quality is awful,
Mhm.
but like it's just the size of the individual
Yeah.
is very obviously
tall.
not a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That was really my only gripe, though. That was
For
the only
sure.
thing when I saw it, I was like, what? That's a dude. But I also didn't
That's
care.
a dude.
I also didn't care, really, though.
No, neither
Yeah.
did I.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, I thought to myself, this is what I thought. For a Disney Channel original movie, this is a really good sports shot.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with
Mhm.
it.
It was.
You know what I mean?
Straight
It
up.
wasn't like funky surfing or snowboarding or whatever. It was well done.
It looked really cool. The race at the end and when they're doing montage trainings and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Mhm.
It's so
It all looks cool.
So I think the reason I like this movie so much is because it's actually very complex. Like, there are some very complex concepts going in this movie where if you're talking about Johnny Tsunami, we're assuming, and it is, about a boy who has to move away and likes snowboarding. Yeah, he likes snowboarding, Olivia. But honestly, I think what hooked me into this movie was like all of the relationships. Like the relationship between Johnny and his dad, Johnny and his grandfather, the dad and his grandfather. All of that was like
The
hooking.
mom?
The mom.
The mom was
When
good.
she finally kind of yelled at the dad, I was like, "You go!" It was really intense,
Yeah.
like family dynamic going on that as a kid I probably didn't pay attention to, but upon this viewing, it like
Right.
hooked
Well,
me in.
It's funny that you say that because the thing that resonated with me the most the entire movie was that, and oh my God, I'm going to sound like my sister-in-law right now, and Luis is probably going to laugh out loud, but it's a generational thing. It's funny because at Thanksgiving, all she talked about was how the new generation is so awful. And blah,
oh,
blah,
of
blah.
course.
But seriously, I feel like if this movie was remade right now, Johnny's character would be a little pain in the rear but he was
He's
so
a
respectful.
Yeah,
boy.
he's the
Like-
best kid on earth. Like there's
When they tell him he's moving, he's like, okay.
He literally, but he wasn't like a pushover, but he like rolled with the punches. And I
Yeah.
know that that's like what
He
his
was a
Hawaiian name meant. What was like goodness or something or good.
kind something.
heart or
Pono.
something.
I don't
We'll look it
remember
up.
right now.
Pono.
But whatever.
Oh my God,
He was
yes.
a really good kid. So it was like nice to watch because it wasn't like he was like complaining the whole time or
Like
being
how the
like
smart house
rude
kid
or-
is kind of annoying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was like if you had a kid in that situation, like you would want to have Johnny.
I told Andre that. I said, Johnny's a good kid. Like, his dad is hating on him so much. That's the best kid
Right.
ever.
and
That's-
I literally was in my notes like, this dad is awful. I hate this dad.
Oh my
God,
goodness.
Andre
As an adult, I hate
Andre
this
and I
dad.
were
That's
yelling
the thing
at the TV.
about the dad is that Johnny is such a good kid, and his dad just rails on him
because
constantly.
he doesn't want him to be like his grandfather.
purely because he reminds
he's
Johnny
got
reminds
he's
him
got
of
daddy
old Johnny.
he's got daddy issues.
Oh yeah,
Because he has daddy issues.
he got big time daddy issues.
Big
right?
time.
big time daddy
Big
issues.
time daddy issues.
And
I mean, we're
we-
turning him into a.
We don't get too
Indian,
in
but
depth
that's
with
okay.
it, but basically the grandfather is a quote unquote surf bum.
He's a legend.
He's a legend, but I think he just doesn't care to have a lot of money. He doesn't.
Right.
He's there with nature,
Lives on
and
the
he
beach.
has a very chill outlook on life. And he's also, in my opinion, an extremely intelligent grandfather. Like I
Yeah.
really, really liked him. Like I thought he was amazing.
I thought you were going to say
But
he was
his son,
Oh God.
his son, not into surfing, wants to have money. I guess when he wanted to go to a private school as a kid, he feels like his father didn't provide for him or give him any opportunities, and that he had to work his way to the top,
And he's
which is
very resentful because of
very resentful.
Like,
My God,
extremely resentful.
Yeah.
Like
he keeps
his-
saying things like, "Oh, Johnny's just gonna end up like his grandfather. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna be a successful surfer who lives on the beach and lives his dream."
Which is
I can't
hilarious
believe
because
it.
I
With
mean
no
I feel
money.
like every time he says that, I think to myself like,
it's not that bad.
that sounds fantastic.
Right,
like
it's
yeah,
Also,
so
your
fine.
father seems extremely wise and
and at peace with himself.
He seems
like,
happy. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's just not. They have different personalities completely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think Grandpa Johnny at one point in the movie he was saying that to the dad. He was like, "Yeah, I guess all this surf bum stuff kind of just skips a generation because like my dad he couldn't swim at all." So I guess it's just that's like the
Yeah.
pattern of the men in that family. It's like surfer non-surfer, surfer non-surfer.
Well, and I kind of wonder then if it has like because we're talking deeper meaning. You have to assume that there's like something else. Like maybe it is because he felt like he didn't provide, or maybe it's because he didn't want to live in the shadow of his father, or maybe
yeah, he didn't
like
wanna
there's something
try.
else. But like he is so resentful that it's like he's seething all
He's
the time.
taking it out on his son too.
An incredibly angry man.
But the best part, though, I think of the whole thing is at least that the mom 100% loves the grandpa.
Yeah.
So it's not like you
Oh,
have
yeah.
two parents against the grandpa who's totally amazing.
Yeah, like fine.
The mom is like, no, your dad is legit. Like, you need to calm down.
I needed her to like put her foot down
She
at
said,
one point.
She said at one point in the movie that like you're not who you used to be. You used to like be fun. You used to be a lot more like your dad than you think. Like you used to be a chill dude. That's the dude that I fell in love with. And so I think their
I thought she was
relationship.
gonna leave him at that moment.
I think the
was like,
relationship just like
show.
slowly eroded over time as he got more mature, posh,
well, and he was like,
fancy.
I have to provide for this family, and that's why we're moving.
Right.
You're moving because you want to get away from your dad, and you want your son to go to this private school because that's what you wanted to do as a kid.
Yeah.
So you're emulating on your son what you would have wanted for yourself, which is absolutely nothing Johnny wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really like, we're getting so deep into this. I really like at the end where the grandfather finally says to him, like, yeah, when you told me you didn't like surfing, I wanted to like force you back into the water and make you like it, but
I couldn't.
I couldn't, and that's fine. And I think his father, like I said, the grandfather's like super wise, and he moved on. He's like, you can't force Johnny to not like surfing and snowboarding. Like, it's not
Right.
going to happen.
You're nuts.
That's
the other thing. That's the most sinful thing that the father does is he gets his job in Colorado, which he jumps on, I assume.
Oh,
right?
I'm sure
he
he's
jumps on
stoked.
it. He applied for it and he jumped on it, right?
Vermont.
In Vermont, and knowing full well that he'd have to move his entire family over there,
away from Hawaii.
away from Hawaii, where they've grown up
Jeez.
their entire lives, and he goes full force into it. He tells the mom, and the mom's like, okay, I guess I'll move, sure. and
and he tells.
And then they decide to keep it from Johnny until basically the last second.
The mom wants to tell him. It's the dad that doesn't.
Right, but
so
they
that's
both
why. But that's
don't
why
tell him at the
sometimes
same
I'm like,
time.
she needs to put her foot down and be like,
That's
you know.
First off, stupidest thing I've ever heard.
You told him
You're
a week
not
before.
gonna tell a person. I don't care how old the person is. You're not gonna tell them that their
That they have
entire
to
life
move.
is about to be uprooted.
and going to a completely different place,
And-
almost the polar opposite.
When
Yeah, like
something-
legitimately, it's like moving to a foreign country
Mhm.
because it's a completely different way of life, and it's a completely different. Not so much just climate, because it is a different climate, but it's a different
Culture.
It's a different culture completely.
It's insane.
And something I've learned working with children is if you literally just tell them the truth or like give them a heads up about what's going to happen, they'll be a lot more appreciative. You know what I
can
mean?
adapt.
The worst is that they told him a week before. The house is already set up. Yeah, we're leaving here in a week. And then Andre made this comment when we were watching it. He immediately the next day has to go to school, doesn't have his uniform, so he's like in all Hawaiian gear. People are already making fun of him. Like they could have moved him there sooner so he could have like acclimated first.
Yeah.
You know what
sure.
I mean? Like he had
They
no acclimation period at all.
They
Oh,
pushed
or
him
like-
out of the nest.
yeah, they were like, okay, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or let him stay out of school for a week to get settled or something.
Right. Like,
Oh my
what
god,
is
it was
happening?
terrible. And I felt so bad when he didn't have his uniform and everybody else did.
Right.
It's funny though
Stand
because
out.
and we already touched on this, but I think it's important to point out is that he was the best sport all the way through. Like he was not stupid that the kids were making fun of him, but he like dished it right back out at them and was like, but was still respectful about it. Was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, you want to like talk me up as the surfer dude, then I'm going to talk to you as the surfer
Sure.
dude,
Mhm.
and
Bruh.
I'm still fine.
Oh my god, he had so
Bruh.
much surf lingo.
It was hilarious.
Hilarious.
Oh,
I
and
loved it.
by the
Totally
way,
nectar.
It's not even like the dad uprooted the family and was like, oh well, you're not going to see your baseball team anymore. Sorry, Johnny. It's like Johnny is already becoming a legend in Hawaii himself. He's a 13-year-old kid and he's winning like gigantic surf competitions and stuff like. He's well on his way to becoming a surfing star,
And
a person that can do it
And
professionally.
Andre and I both made the comment that I don't think if like my child was like 12 years old, I'm trying to think. I was like very
I
good
think
at
he's older than
gymnastics.
12. I think
he's 13
like
or
maybe
14.
13 or 14.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think like if I was so deep into gymnastics or something like that, and my parents were just like, "We're moving to this country where there's no gymnastics," and I've been doing it since I was like a child.
Right.
I think I would absolutely lose my mind.
Yeah, it's like
You know
all
what I
you
mean?
know, basically.
Like I don't think I could do that to my kid unless I was making $1 billion or something. You know.
Well, and the fact that it is rooted in his lifestyle. It's not so
Yeah.
much that like he goes surfing once a week. Like he said, every single
Every
day
day.
he was surfing.
Every morning. Unless I'm sick. But I have to be crazy sick, like dying. like
well,
he
I mean,
goes
think
surfing every
about
day.
that. That's
He
like
loves
eating.
it.
Like,
yeah,
oh no, you can't eat anymore.
right.
It's his sustenance
You
for
can't
joy.
do
And
the
it just,
thing
like-
that relaxes you,
Oh,
that
that's
makes
why
you
it, like,
feel good, that you're
broke my
good at
heart.
anymore, ever, basically, because you
And
live.
I'm moving it because I don't want you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Guess
Well,
what,
that's
Andre?
fantastic.
You can never watch a movie again.
What?
Exactly. That's how he felt.
I guess it's time to run away from home, basically.
Well,
It
he
makes
did
sense.
eventually, but you know,
Yes, exactly.
that's how he felt.
So they move to Vermont. Johnny is thrust into the school where
he's such a good sport.
He's
You're
and
right.
and Johnny is being a great sport in the face of incredible racism at, at Vermont School of Brett and the KKK
For
boys.
sure.
Like they are straight
Oh
up
God, the bullies are always the
the
worst in
worst.
these movies. But
Oh, my
yeah, they're
Hawaii.
terrible.
What's up, Hawaii?
What's his name? Brent.
Brett.
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 Yes.
Brett. That's a terrible name.
yeah.
That's a crazy bully name.
Oh,
Brett's
I have
awful.
to say though that it was funny because when right before they moved, Johnny wakes up at his house and he looks out his window and I wrote sick house and views, right?
Yeah.
Because it was beautiful. But then they get to the Vermont house and I'm like, all right, this is a nice house
It's a
too.
pretty nice house.
I'm
yeah.
like, this is nicer than the smart house. What the heck?
You
And
know,
the dad is a
they
computer
can-
programmer, so
they
it
can
might be a
afford
smart
to-
house anyway.
Well, but it was nicer
Yeah,
than
it
the
was
smart
nice.
house.
They can afford those big houses in Vermont, not
That's
in
what
Hawaii,
I'm
where they're
saying.
billions.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
the dad
amazing.
is like a computer programmer. I think he does like all of the computer systems for this particular school or something like that.
Yes, he works for NetStudy, which connects people via the internet.
Right. Yeah, dude. connections.
Connecting them.
At one point before they move, or maybe right after they move, Johnny's dad is showing him like, look at that, surfers only make around $35,000 a year. Isn't that terrible? You wouldn't be able to make any money at all doing the thing that you love.
Hate him.
It's like, come on, man.
It was
You
really.
have to rub this
I
in
literally,
so
I'm
hard?
reading my notes right now. It says the dad is gross.
I put the dad as Satan.
Yeah.
I'm reading Andre's notes, and it says, I literally hate this dad so much. He is like Professor Umbridge.
Oh, yeah. That's what he was reminding me
Oh,
of.
for
That's how much vitriol I had for him in his actions.
I have so many things to say about the dad. I'm just not even going to.
So let's
Xenon's in this movie.
Yes, Xenon is in this movie.
Her name is Emily.
Her name is
No,
Emily.
her name's
That's
Xenon.
right. She is one of the prep school students at Skyline Academy, a Sky. But she's like the cool one. She hangs out with Brett and his white supremacist homies, but she doesn't like fully involve herself with all of their activities and stuff like that. So when Johnny shows up, she's like, "Oh, cool, a new kid. I'll make friends with him, no problem." And
I think she thinks he's cute.
Brett and the bad boys don't like that at all.
This is
Yeah,
what I
no.
wrote. I love Johnny. I hate Brett. Emily is eh. I did not like her character.
She was
I thought she
weird.
was so like.
She wasn't super necessary.
I like that she was the open-minded one at the school. She was like, well, I mean, I guess why do the skiers and the snowboarders have to be separate?
Yeah, because they're the sharks and the jets.
I'll
dude.
try snowboarding. Yes.
I'll be honest.
Andre was like, "Is this Romeo and Juliet?"
Okay, read this. This movie was cool until it was a snowy Romeo and Juliet.
It was like Romeo and Juliet or
I
the
was-
sharks and the jets. you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was really cool until they did that. Which
Well-
it ends up being okay, like when it explains it at the end. But at first, I'm like, oh,
Well,
are we
and
really gonna do this right now?
He remembered that part because I was like, "This is dumb. This wouldn't happen in real life." And he was like, "Oh well, the brothers split the mountain and blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh well, thank gosh you told me that in the middle of the movie because I was like, yeah."
Oh,
not
I
about
thought it was dumb. And then at the end, when they say that, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I get why now.
They
But
they should have
still.
thrown it in the beginning.
Yeah, and I think there might have been...
Someone mentioned it, but they didn't. They just said that some dude died and the
then
family split the
family
mountain.
split the
That's
mountain.
all they said.
That's right.
Yeah, but then they
And
were
then-
doing the whole like
But then I was
private
like-
school versus
I know.
public
Like, why
school.
is it public school versus private school? So now it's a class thing.
Now it's the
I
poor
guess
people.
the two brothers went to two different
They
schools.
did, but they didn't explain that until the end.
Right, okay, yeah.
And
They
I hate
didn't,
that
and
they
that
call
was
them
fine.
urchins. I literally
Dude.
was like,
Urchins in the what?
The urchins in the skies.
Stupid.
it literally was making me crawl out of my skin.
Yeah, it's no good.
It's fine. I got over it. I was just
I
like,
can't
okay,
get
it's
over
silly.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
let's.
Can you
whatever.
hand me a cookie,
Sure.
Andre? A chocolate
This one?
chip one.
Here you go.
We got the
Thank you.
cookies.
Yeah, we're on a cookie
knobbing
train right now.
cookies. It's
Hashtag
Christmas time.
Always snacking.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
What was I
I'm
gonna
so
say?
mad. Thank
She
you.
needs a cookie.
I need a cookie.
So
Anyways.
there was the scene towards the beginning where the Skies have ironically invited Johnny to come out skiing with him, knowing full well that he can't ski at all. So they go to the ski shop, and then there's the ski shop dude who works there, and Johnny's like ruining all the stuff or whatever, and he's like, "Get out!" And when I saw the ski shop dude, I was like, "This dude looks crazy familiar. What do I know this guy from?" And I looked him up, I didn't see him in anything. But then later in the movie, they go to the snowboard shop. And the snowboard shop dude looks exactly like the ski shop dude. I was like, oh, that's right. They're like twins, and they both
He knew it.
Own-
Yeah. And then he told me.
the one versus the other. And I think that was done on purpose in the movie, so that you kind of recognize one of them or the other one. And then by the end, when they show up together and they look exactly the same, then it's like,
Do they look exactly the same?
I mean,
They're
yeah,
twins, yeah.
They're either twins or they're the same actor playing both roles. I
didn't.
wasn't exactly sure.
Make that connection.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, they're twins.
Oops.
Anyways, the best part about this movie is when he decides to be a snowboarder, right? So he goes skiing.
Thank you.
Brett pushes him down the mountain. It's terrible. You know, he tries it. And he's such a good sport that even the whole time he's like, I got this. This is fine, right? This is not fine. This
And
sport.
FYI, he only fell once. Like, I would have fallen
Yeah.
7 million times.
Oh yeah. I would have
Yeah, he
broken
fell.
both my legs. I assume.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, Brett, do you know that snow is extremely dangerous? And if you push me down a mountain, I'm dead.
Once again,
you know what I mean?
I wrote Brett is racist probably 35 times in my notes. Brett was absolutely ready to harm Johnny. He wanted him out of his school. He did not like him. He didn't like his face. He didn't like that he's making Emily give him goo eyes and whatnot.
Yeah,
he's hardcore jealous of Johnny, and he does not like him. And I bet that if Johnny had died or broken most of the bones in his body, Brett would have brushed it off his shoulder and felt zero guilt whatsoever. I hate
most likely.
Brett.
But it's
I did write
okay
that.
because
You gotta work the hill, baby.
Yeah, dude,
Oh
we
my
get
God.
to meet Sam.
the best character
That's why
in
it's
this
okay.
movie. Absolutely.
That's what I remember. But see, I think that was in commercials.
Right,
Probably.
yeah.
Sam is the best character in this movie.
Where have I
Sam-
seen him before?
Sam
Sam is the epitome of what I want my son to be like.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Sam is Sam is played by Lee Thompson Young, who was on the other Disney Channel show, The Famous Jet Jackson. He was the main character in that show. That show was about a kid who is an actor in a show called Jet Jackson, and then and then the show the Disney Channel show shows him like while he's at school and like going back and forth between being an actor and being a regular kid and stuff like that. That show was dope.
Also-
I love this kid.
Yeah.
Also, the entire movie, I kept saying how much Andre is like him. And, like, things he was doing were hilarious. But he is
Andre's
the
more
epitome.
funny than that.
Oh,
kid,
totally.
though.
But they
you.
had
You're more
some,
like silly.
They had some mannerisms where I was
Yes.
like, even Andre was like, oh, jeez, like, sounded like me. The epitome of a best friend, the epitome of a good kid, the epitome of everything I need my son to be. What I picture, this is like absolutely not reality. You're a new kid, you're on the bus, this other kid sits next to you, and they're just like instantly friends.
Fast friends.
Like Sam was like, this is cool, I'm friends, but that's because Sam understands because he's a Navy kid or an Army kid
And he
and
has to
moves
move
a
all the
lot.
time.
He has
Yeah.
to move a lot, so he's used to it. He knows he's probably good at talking to people and just making short friends. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Sam's really cool. Like
Ugh.
I think he and
I love
Johnny
him.
are of the same ilk. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
high class athletes in like the top of their field professionally, I guess, or whatever. But then they're also like really down to earth,
Exactly.
cool guys. Basically.
Just from opposite sides of the USA.
Yeah, basically. And so I think when those two kinds of people meet, it's just like, oh, we're gonna be friends.
Mhm.
But he
because we
didn't
have all
even
the same
like
things
make
in
fun
common.
of Johnny that Johnny wanted to learn how to snowboard. He
No,
like
he
took
was-
the
he was fully on
time
board.
to teach him. Like it was, I love like even when he's teaching him, all of that montage is hilarious.
And his other urchin friends are like, when are you going to ditch this Capahala kid, dude? He sucks. And he was like, I like him. I don't. what's
Yeah,
the
he
problem?
doesn't
Were
even
you just
care.
wearing a hat?
I was. I took it off.
Did you take it off?
I got a little sweaty up here, up top.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I have to say this. You're going to be so mad.
Oh no, what?
Okay. When you were making the face, do you see how I was looking at you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The way your hair is right now, not all the time, the way your hair is, and the face that you were making specifically, not all the time, that face,
Yeah.
you look like Mbappe.
Dang it!
I'm just saying. But from the side, it's the angle, it's what
Man.
you were doing. Okay, so when Andre and Michelle went to Europe, he kept getting
Mbappe.
stopped, and people were telling him he looked like Killian.
Mbappe.
Is his first name Killian?
have
I don't know
no
his first name. We
idea.
just know Mbappe because that's what people kept
Is his
telling
first
us.
name Killian, Lou? Killian
is-
Mbappe.
it is
Mbappe. He's a soccer player, and the only reason I know this is because Luis watches European soccer. Long story short, Andre literally just made an Mbappe
They're
face.
saying,
And
but
Andre
It's
don't
a
watch
momentary
no soccer.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had no
speaking
idea
of-
who Mbappe
yeah,
was.
but
So
when
all
we
these
were in
people,
Italy,
Hairline.
multiple people were
all these
feeding
people were
over
like
you.
Mbappe. I was like, honestly, I think he looks like
What
my
do you
brother.
say?
I'm
He
in a
does look
restaurant
like your
drinking
brother.
wine
Like
Marcus.
Marcus? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people are
But
looking
anywho,
like,
okay.
"Mbappe, are you Mbappe?"
But speaking of,
Mbappe?
no,
Sam.
Oh, Sam.
ridiculousness.
Oh, who I compared to the Falcon from
Oh,
Captain
yeah,
America
he
Winter
totally
Soldier.
reminded me.
Fast friends, best friend. He's black. He flies. I don't know.
His name is Sam.
His
They're
name is
the
Sam.
two best friends. that
Army brat.
anybody could
Army
have.
brat.
Army brat. Yeah.
You know, do you want to know what Brett said in this movie?
What did Brett
Oh,
say?
no, I don't want to know
I
because
did
Brett
write a lot of Brett
sucked.
quotes.
You're dead. Is that like a normal threat that you can just say to people?
I think that's definitely like a bully threat.
You're dead,
you're
Hawaii.
dead, Hawaii.
Like, I feel like I could take that to the police.
Oh, absolutely could.
Like,
yeah, it's a threat.
And they would be fully warranted.
And
like,
I'm like
we're gonna
Andre
take this
said
seriously.
earlier, I'm pretty sure Brett tried to kill him multiple times.
He pushed him off the
Mountain.
like the top of a mountain, and then. Oh no! When they were hanging off.
When they were
that was an
racing
Emily
at the
error.
end, I was like, "You trying to kill this fool?" They're pushing
yeah.
each other. Ugh.
Dude, when they were racing at the end, Johnny had like seriously upgraded his snowboarding skills. They were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They were going very fast.
That's because he saw his grandpa do it. He was like,
no, that's because it was a 45-year-old
That's right.
doing it.
So yeah, where were we at? The skies.
He's meeting Sam, and Sam is teaching him how to snowboard, and Johnny's not good at it at first.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give up.
And
He perseveres.
And meanwhile, he's still like going to school and trying to fit in. He got a uniform, but decided to wear a Hawaiian shirt with it, which was honestly
So
a
funny.
dope look. I liked it a lot.
I
They
wrote
should've let
that. I
him
was
wear
like,
it.
I agree.
wow, that's
Um,
fantastic.
Yeah, dude. But then he has to have a long conversation with the principal, who is also Emily's dad.
Of course.
And it turns out the principal is like a pretty cool dude,
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
and also the only one in Vermont with East Coast accent. Everybody else
He's only cool.
sounded normal. He was
Well,
like,
He's
he was
only
cool at
cool for a
first.
little bit, and then he doesn't
know
get
who's
Johnny, you
cool?
gotta behave in, in
You want-
Vermont.
He's Nixon all of a sudden.
Oh my god.
I'm not a criminal, Johnny.
You want to know who was cool?
Hmm.
The history teacher was cool. You could tell she liked him.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
she
could
kicked
tell
him out, but was like giggling.
Yeah,
Go to
she
the
was
principal. You kids.
She's like, your outfit's actually pretty sick,
yeah,
though.
dude. She liked it too.
So the next part of this movie, it just takes a turn for the worse, man.
Always.
So Emily is like kind of into Johnny, honestly.
Not me.
So because Johnny's getting a ton of
Luis is giving
attention,
me a dirty look.
Johnny's getting a ton of attention for being the only guy to go be an urchin and learn how to snowboard.
Right.
And he kind of like jokes with Emily like, Psh, you wouldn't be able to do it. So she shows up in like all black and like a thing, like she's like hiding, like she's sneaking around at
that was
night.
very funny.
That was
And they teach her how to surfboard, and it's kind of
Snowboard.
cute and funny at first until she snowboards straight off a cliff
Yeah.
and down the mountain.
That was actually very scary. Like, especially, I guess as a kid, because, okay, so I must have seen this or this part, because I vividly remembered this part. I take that back. My
They
earlier
have to like
statement.
find the snow patrol and stuff. Yeah.
More about them hanging off the side
Hanging
of
off
the
the
thing.
cliff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, as a kid, I don't think I felt
The danger.
the danger.
Because I think when I was a kid, I was like, it's snow. Fall down.
Yeah, like,
You'll
I
be
guess I
fine.
just didn't get
Well,
it. But,
I
like,
think as an adult, I was more mad. Like, why are you letting them snowboard right there if they can just go off the mountain?
Oh,
Doesn't
well.
seem
oh,
like
no, they do that.
It doesn't seem like a snake. Well, that's why I will never snowboard or ski because I'm a klutz. I would
well,
die.
I'm right there with you, but when I was looking at it, I was like, this, like, if they fell, they would die.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, they're on the
yeah, if
side
they
of
weren't
a cliff.
hanging like that.
Like, and the only reason, and at first I was like, it's very convenient that they fell that way, but I mean, they literally had like a handhold and a foothold. Like,
Yeah.
they were about to die.
It was almost over for both of them because Emily falls because she's inexperienced and she like goes down a different, like a black diamond trail or whatever. And so she falls down. Johnny and Sam roll up and see that she's down there, and then Sam just falls down too. Like he falls
He
off
slips.
the side of the cliff
Yeah.
and is right there with her.
And then it is when Johnny's snowboarding skills get good.
Yeah.
Because he has to
'Cause he
snow
has
down
to.
very fast to go get the snow patrol. Yeah.
To come and
Snow
rescue.
patrol, snow patrol.
Oh, and it's so cool because Johnny, he like gets down to almost the bottom, and then he sees the ski patrol from afar, and then he hits big time air, and then all the other urchins are like, whoa. Whoa.
Hey, dude. And it's like, cue cool 90s snowboarding music.
I don't remember if that was what it was.
It's also like,
but
can you
that's what
go
it felt
save
like.
them already? Because my anxiety was real high.
It's true.
It's
But
fine.
the
They
music
got
was
him up.
dope.
With my favorite is when they bring up Emily first with the rope, right? And Johnny's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Well, they're on like the side of the cliff.
And Sam's like, "Very, very nice. I'm still here. Like, come on, get me off
you
this
guys
thing."
hurry up.
Because I'm sure he heard the intimate moment like
Yeah, from-
25 feet
It
above him.
basically from here, it's all downhill. Because
Literally?
Literally.
I mean, Sam's dad was upset.
Snowy pie.
Literally, Sam's dad was upset with him, but like kind of okay, like / proud of him because he was at least trying to help another person, you know. But Johnny's dad is just, you're never going to snowboard again,
we
right?
see all three dads, right? We see the principal dad go like, this is crazy irresponsible. You know you shouldn't be snowboarding. You're a skier or whatever. Stay on this side of the mountain. And then Sam's dad is like...
Which was a very awkward conversation.
Yeah.
And the only reason that I didn't, like, scream at the TV was because the mom, her face was like... You could tell she was really, like, offended or, like
upset.
Wait, where are we talking about? Where are we talking about?
Where they're having
the parent-teacher
conference.
That was
with the
actually
principal.
after the other two got into a fight. That wasn't after this one.
Oh.
Okay. You know how Johnny got into a fight with Brett? They were punching each other out.
Oh, that's right.
That's when they had the parent-teacher conference.
Right.
Oh, well.
That's a little bit after.
It's a little bit after this.
Okay. Well, regardless of that, so we see
basically at this time they were like, Emily, you can never go see Johnny again.
Mm-hmm.
You stay over here. And even Brett's like, yeah, you know what your dad said, Emily.
That was
you
so
know what your dad
awkward.
said.
shut up, Brett.
Basically, his mom was like happy that he was safe, Johnny, but the dad was like freaking out, like doesn't ever want him to snowboard again. Blah blah blah.
And just to reiterate the situation, Johnny was never in danger. He didn't fall off the cliff. He was there with Emily, and I guess that was what they were mad about, that he like instigated her to want to snowboard or whatever.
He thinks his son is such a bad
all
kid.
he did that day was snowboard, teach his friend how to snowboard, and then save both of his friends' lives when they were in danger. That's what he did that day. And his dad was like, "You're never snowboarding again. I don't want you hanging out with those friends that you've made, the only friends that you've made in this new town."
Yeah, he says like you can never see.
You're gonna hit the books. You're grounded. It's like what world
He never
are you
wants him
living
to see
on?
Sam again, like
Yeah.
all this stuff. So obviously, Johnny's very upset.
So stupid.
But the next day, Sam's just kind of like, okay, like let's go out, Johnny. And they give him a hat because he got that big airtime,
Yeah.
right? And so the next day, they're like, it's okay, we're going to go on the back of the mountain. And he's like, aren't we not supposed to go over there because that's the other side of the mountain? And Johnny's already like, I'm not even supposed to be snowboarding with you guys. But, like, he has some friends now, you know what I
Right.
mean? So he goes, and that's when he runs into Brett and all the others, and they're like, you're not supposed to be over here. Yeah, Emily, you know what your dad said. And then they get into a fist fight.
I really
And they-
like your recap.
They brawl until the ski patrol shows. I'm like, "You guys doing all right?" "Yeah, okay. We just have bloody noses because we weren't fighting."
And that's
The
when
altitude.
that's when his dad really loses it. Like, you're fighting. This is. It almost sounds like racist, right? Like, you're fighting against your own kind. Like, those. And the principal literally tells him to, like, choose a side.
Right.
Because he was saying, like, I could expel you, but because of your dad and talking to them, like, I'm not going to. But he basically tells him, like, you could. The principal basically tells him you could never snowboard again and
Yeah.
to, like, pick a side.
It's like,
And
what?
like Emily said, if it wasn't for the mom looking like she was going to poop her pants, like her facial expression was literally like, is this real life?
Right.
But even the dad was like, you heard what he said, you got to choose sides. You know what I mean?
It's like, what?
And that's where I was
It's this weird little world that
Dude,
we're
it
living
seems
in.
silly now,
Dude, I
but
forgot his
Footloose town.
I was yelling at the TV.
I'm reading my notes right here from this part, and I forgot the dad's name, and I was like, "You're so stupid, middle Johnny."
Middle Johnny, old Johnny, middle Johnny, young Johnny.
That's so
I think his
funny.
name is Pete.
It's Pete, and then I wrote in parentheses later, "Stupid Pete."
Stupid Pete.
Oh God!
And that's where the mom, like, because he's like, Johnny, you can never see Sam again, who is the best kid in the world.
Right.
Like, all of these crazy things where I'm thinking in my head as a parent, and what did I immediately say when he started yelling at his kid and saying all that? I said, you're asking for your child, he's asking for Johnny to rebel and run away, and what's the next thing he did? Rebel and run away.
Johnny
because you
calls
pushed
Sam.
your kid away so
Best part
much.
of the movie.
What did they do? Sneak
They
on a
Snuck onto a
a
military
military plane.
plane.
To
and
Hawaii.
Went to
I
Hawaii.
literally have so many laughing faces I can't even.
And then went to Johnny's grandpa's house. Like they
Sam had never seen the ocean. It was so cute.
Well, I don't know if he'd never seen the ocean, but he'd never
He
seen
said
the
it. He said
Pacific
in the
Ocean.
movie he'd never seen the ocean.
I think he he said that where all the stations that his dad has been to, like all
Iceland.
countries with ice in the name or whatever.
Well, and he's upset because he's going to move to Iceland. That's why they ended up stowing away. But I don't think they know what Iceland is.
It's
like,
green.
It's actually
Right.
not.
Greenland
icy.
is
Greenland
actually
is the-
icy in
is the
Iceland.
snowy one.
But I mean, I guess if you're a teenager,
Yeah.
you hear Iceland, you're like,
Okay.
wow.
Ready
He's
for
like,
more
I'm
snow.
so tired. What is it? I'm so
Well,
tired.
you want to be mad? You can't snowboard
That's-
there. How about
Right,
that?
yeah.
That's where I said he's exactly like Andre, where he's like, I'm so tired of being cold. I was like, is that my husband?
Word, same, dude. So Johnny and Sam ran away, and
I
And
love
the first thing that the grandpa says is, "That's some serious ingenuity."
yeah,
I love him.
Laughing.
But I also love the mom when they found the note and she's like, what is this? And the dad's like, I guess he ran away. And the mom's face is like, like, sorry.
That's what she says. He's like, "I can't believe he did this," the
And she
mom's
says,
like,
"I
totally
can."
can believe he did
Mhm.
this."
Yeah.
And that's why I kept saying, like, this entire movie, all I wanted is the mom to just, like, put her foot down and be like, you're not treating our son like this
right.
anymore, you
Stop
know?
doing this to our son. You're
But she
literally
was
driving
trying
him
to be
away.
like, I don't know, she's trying to be a good wife. Like,
I guess
she
she's trying to be
loves
like
him.
keep everything happy and together and amicable.
I was
or
happy
whatever.
when she told him, like, you're not. Usually, when somebody says you're not the person I fell in love with, that's term for divorce right there. I was kind of happy when she said that.
Yeah.
But and I also love that the dad calls Grandpa Johnny Tsunami on the phone and is like, get them back on a plane. And he's like whispering it, and the grandpa's like, nah, they gotta figure this out themselves.
Nah, bro, I'll get them back, but they're not coming back tomorrow. Otherwise, they're just gonna run away again.
Which is
Yeah,
actually
because the
very
grandfather's
smart.
smart, and he did it in such a genius way that they
He's like,
figured it
"They'll
out
come back when they're
themselves,
ready."
right?
But it's
He
I
didn't
can
even have
imagine
to do
from like
anything.
from a parent's Okay, there was a couple weird things here. For being such a well thought out movie, this was the weirdest part.
Mm-hmm.
The dad of Sam was like, okay, we just met you, and my son literally, like, he could get.
He's like, my son is like
He could get-
5,000 miles away from me
How is
right
he
now,
not fired
and
from
I
the
don't
army?
I know, that's what I was
How
gonna
is he
say,
not in
like,
jail?
Yeah.
Like, he's not in trouble. He doesn't care. He's just like, okay, that's no big deal. Like, that is very
This is
ridiculous.
pre 9/11 days.
Yeah.
All-
Well,
That's
that's
true.
what Andre said.
That's
Pre 9/11 days.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, as a parent, I can 100% understand like why his dad is so mad.
Mhm.
But it just trips me out that it was like the situation was kind of like, oh,
It was kind of like the best thing that could have happened. Like he went right to
His
the closest
grandfather.
family member
Yeah.
that he knew of. It just happens to be very, very far away.
And honestly,
but he went there
like,
and he knows he's completely safe.
I honestly,
Yeah,
like,
that's
in
he's
true.
gonna
my
be
heart,
surfing.
truly thought that Johnny probably never thought he was going to go back to Hawaii ever again. Like, until he was, like, 18 or something.
I mean, I'm sure he had talked to his grandpa and would come back for like a weekend. or
his
something.
dad
I
would
don't- I
not
don't
let
know.
him.
Yeah,
There's
probably
no
not.
way.
Yeah.
Because his grandpa would always say, like, you're always welcome here, Pono, or whatever, like, on the phone.
Like how
There's
Michelle says
no,
Oh, no.
there's no way in hell his dad would let him go back on a plane to go to Hawaii.
that's how she says Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, so they get there. Johnny teaches Sam how to surf, so he gets to repay the
Yeah, which
beginning
is
of the
so
friendship,
cute.
which is cool.
And it's cool because his old friends show up when they hear that he's there, and they're like, "Come on, dude, let's go surf."
You're back.
Oh my god, those kids
Dude.
were actually really annoying. So I'm glad they were very shortly
They were
lived.
very, very prepubescent surfer dudes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Johnny did not bother me in the least with his
Surfer
lingo
slang, yeah.
at all. It didn't bother me
Yeah.
once. But those kids, I really wanted to just punch in the face. Like, take your pua shells and
Puka shells.
bro.
no, they're puas on those kids.
Pua shell.
Pua.
Take your puas and get them out of here. But anywho, he could have just gone off with them because Sam was cool with staying with the grandpa, and the
Mhm.
grandpa was like, "Yeah, man, well, I'll teach him how."
Yeah.
But Johnny was like, "No, this is the moment that I need
It
to
was
be here
super
for."
cute.
It was very cool.
Yeah. Johnny just keeps having like all these like really good hero moments in this movie, and he like I think you said he perseveres through anything that happens to him.
Well, and here's my question:
Yeah.
have you guys seen the follow-up movie to this?
No.
No, I don't think I've watched it.
I can't imagine that it's half as good,
No, probably not.
but
Back
I
to
kind of
Gordon
want to
or
watch it. I
whatever.
won't lie, because I mean, does he keep up this hero arc, or does he go?
I don't know.
Does he go to the bad
Go
side?
to the dark side.
I
Just
don't
pushing
know.
pushing kids off mountains and stuff.
He
and
can't be this good. and
starting fist
continue
fights.
to be-
and
But he is. he setting such
Or
a
do
good
drugs or
role
something. I don't
model?
know. What kind of
It's
Disney
cute.
Channel original are you watching, Emily?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
basically, Johnny discloses to his grandfather that, like, it's been rough there, right? Brett's a bully. He's trying to be good at snowboarding, but it's not the same as surfing.
His dad's a bully.
His dad's a bully. And his grandpa just has, like, a way with words and basically is like, we don't give up. Capahalas, you know what I mean? And, yeah, that I mean.
Johnny's like, guess I should go back, huh? And Grandma's like, hoo hoo, Bono, you funny, you smart.
Every time he does the oh, Bono, you're so smart. And he goes, that's my grandson.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, we're turning him into an Indian again. Stop.
I saw it sounded Italian for a second. My
That's my
grandson.
grandson.
Okay, Mario.
But the trick is, Grandpa's going with.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
That
he
was
getting on a
probably the
plane.
funniest part. Was when he gets off the plane
And the dad.
and the dad is so mad
He's
he
like-
can't even formulate a sentence.
He was like,
says-
you could have just dropped him off at the airport, Dad.
he said you could have just put them on a plane.
Mhm.
Like, you didn't have to come here.
Go.
And he's like, nah, I came here.
I was gonna miss this.
and then Johnny's like, I know you're really mad. And he's like, we'll talk about it when I get over the shock of seeing your grandfather.
And I
it's
told
like,
I told
dude,
Andre,
it's not that big of a deal.
but I
dude.
told Andre in that moment, like, you cannot just say stuff like that to your kids about their grandfather. Like,
God.
He's been doing it Johnny's entire life, and Johnny's literally just like, whatever, my grandpa's cool.
You tripping, Dad.
you
Yeah.
can't like talk crap about
You're gonna end up like your grandfather. That's what he
Oh
says to
my
him all the time.
gosh, this is
It's nuts.
family
Well,
issues.
at least it's his father and not like the mom.
the mom-in-law
Right,
or
yeah.
something like
If it was his
that.
father-in-law,
Oh my
that'd
gosh,
be crazy.
I can't imagine.
God forbid you become a gingerbread maker or
Also,
something.
also, I truly believe that in every family, there's like a person who's like the glue and like kind of fixes issues and puts things back together.
Oh, you mean me?
No, I'm talking about Pono. I mean the grandpa.
Oh, no.
no.
I mean Emily's that friend for me for sure. But usually I just call my dad like, Dad, help me. Dad,
Oh, no.
Dad, I locked myself out of my house. Can you come get me? You know what I mean?
She needs to recap the Monday.
True
Ugh.
story.
Oh,
A
no.
struggle. So I think that's fully why the grandfather went there, because he needed to see it through. He needed to first like make peace with his son, but he also needed to see he needed to help Johnny adapt.
Yeah.
And I feel like him being there helped Johnny settle in more
And
as
feel
well.
like it was okay to be there and to
Yeah.
not
Well,
be
and the
Hawaii.
fact that Grandpa was like a sick snowboarder. Like,
Yeah,
no.
he was like, you never asked.
They went to go snowboarding and was like, do you need help with any of this, Grandpa? And Grandpa was like, nah, dude, try and keep up. And then he snowboarded
He's
away.
like the
crazy
most
awesome.
legit snowboarder ever, and Johnny's losing his mind.
He's
Like,
no
I'm not surprised.
way.
That guy is probably a BMX biker too. I don't know.
Yeah. But then, yeah, they have the conversation where Grandpa Johnny talks to Dad Peter and is finally like, yeah, dude, we're stubborn. We're all like this. You, me, Johnny, my dad, all the Kapahalas are like this. And we just have to, like, get through it. Like, you remember when you were a kid and I didn't force you to do something you didn't want to do? How about you try that with your son? And Peter's like, oh, I guess I never thought about it like that. I'm stupid.
Yeah, we called it like the first 5 minutes of the movie. Dude can't figure it out, but
took
you
13 years to fix this relationship.
And this, I truly believe this at all. Like, people are gonna do what people are meant to do, and you can't make them be something they're not. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just let Johnny surf and snowboard. Like, he's never gonna be a private school businessman. It's not gonna
Right. That's
happen.
not
You
the
know
way
what I
it's
mean?
Gonna go down.
Or even the mom was trying to put rationale into something like, yeah, he likes surfing now. You know what? In 5 years, he might like basketball. Like, you don't know. He's a kid.
Right. Yeah.
He's a kid.
Kid.
Like,
Let him
relax.
be a kid.
Let him figure out what he wants to do. But yeah, I mean, it was sweet that they settled their issues. But I think the most shocking part of this movie to me was when Brett told off his grandpa.
Oh yeah.
Brett
For real.
told off an old man. It made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah. I wrote Brett is racist again.
and I really wanted the grandpa to punch him in the face. I wanted him to punch him so
but
bad.
Grandpa's too chill for that. He's
He
like,
told him off.
I don't remember what
He
Brett
wasn't
said.
even like, don't talk to you.
He's like, whatever, Hawaii.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
was like, wow.
No,
the
he says like,
disrespect
who
runs
is, he
deep.
says something like, who is this some crazy person. He was like, oh, it's his grandpa. And then he immediately tells the grandpa off. How ballsy do you have to be, oh, I just can't even imagine.
Ballsy.
It was making me so uncomfortable. If my kid do that, they would, I don't know what I would do to them.
Yeah, he needs.
Who raised Brett? Brett, where's your parents at? We need a backstory.
Yeah.
They're probably just as rude if that's how he's talking to
Probably.
elders.
Yeah. So during that conversation, that's when they're developing the rules for this race for the mountain, where Johnny and Brett are going to race on their respective
The mountain should
snow
be for
vehicles.
everybody.
Yes. And if Johnny wins,
Snow vehicles.
if Johnny wins, then
Did you say snow vehicles?
I said snow vehicles. If Johnny wins, then the urchins get to snowboard on the skiing side of the mountain.
Urchins, I hate it.
And if Brett wins, then the
Everything
skies
stays the same.
ruled the mountain. And
But
no, they'll
Brett,
probably
no.
take over the whole
Everything
freaking mountain.
was going to stay the same, but Brett said that's not good enough for him. What does he get? And then Grandpa just pulls out the stinking medal. What the heck,
this
Grandpa?
is the medal that he got for being Johnny Tsunami, for saving lives by surfing.
I know.
So
it's insane.
it's very meaningful. I don't know why Brett likes it, but
Because Brett said, you know what?
he's a racist.
He just wants...
and he's like, I'm
That's
going to
not the
steal
word-
this stuff from the
That's
darkies.
not the word I was going to use. The fact is, it's something Johnny wants, so he wants it. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. He's like, I can take that from your family.
I don't
Absolutely.
know if children are listening. I'll spell out what
It's
he is.
My heirloom now. I'm Brett Tsunami.
He's rude. There, I'll go with that. He's rude.
Yeah. So they decided.
Emily's dying laughing right now. What did we say?
That he was going to culture appropriate with stealing the medallion.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, you stealing the medallion from the Hawaiians is rude.
So
He said
Brett.
dark use for something. Stop it. It's so bad. I can't.
So
Cultural appropriation. Over here.
so right before the race
Vermontians.
is going to happen,
Vermontians.
Sam informs Johnny. He comes up to Johnny's house, and the dad is like, "Hey, get out of here, Sam. you're not allowed here no more." But Sam informs Johnny that, like, hey man, I'm sorry, I'm gonna miss the race because we're
So
moving
sad.
again. Dad is getting moved out to another station or whatever in
Tomorrow.
Iceland. It's tomorrow. We have to leave tomorrow morning.
And they're okay. They don't cry, but they wanted to.
Yeah.
I thought it like it
They
was
do
a
their cool handshake where they slide across the chest and then
Yeah, that's the urchin handshake.
yeah.
Anyways, so
It's like I got
it was
something on my
funny
chest,
because
like, get
when
it
John,
off.
this is where they finally have their moment. So Johnny walks in the house and Dad's like, "Oh, is that Sam?" And he's like, "Yeah." Oh, he's
Obviously.
leaving tomorrow. Are you okay? Yeah. It's like, I really wanted him to something about this race, and the dad was like, "Oh, all right," like trying to make nice with his son. What does the mom say? Like they reached a. I think the grandpa says you reached a treaty.
He said, I need an 8-letter word for a miracle.
Oh, that's what he
That's
says.
He's on the crossword puzzle. And I wrote, stupid dad has to sit there and apologize for being himself.
The dad literally
Sorry,
is
I'm
like,
me.
but the way he says it, he's like, I'm so sorry that I've been like a terrible dad, basically. And Johnny's like, it's okay.
It's alright, Dad. I'm chill like my grandpa, so.
I've known you were bad the whole time. It don't
So
make
what?
no
So
difference.
this kid is gonna have no daddy issues because he's just pretty chill, honestly.
He's very chill about everything.
He is lucky that he's more like his grandpa, not like his dad.
Correct. Because I bet when little Peter was growing up, he was
Stop
just
saying that.
awful.
You think he was awful?
Yeah.
He was probably a prick.
terrible. Like, he's just like, my dad's a surf bum, and I'm not gonna get to do what I think.
His
I'm
collared
gonna do."
shirts,
me a puppet
his collared
face.
shirts with his sweaters.
His collared shirts and sweaters.
Just
Hey,
like
are
what?
y'all-
He has a
Excuse
cardigan.
you. You don't gotta make fun of college shirts and sweaters.
That's exactly what Andre's wearing.
How dare you? I'll get on a snowboard right now. And a surfboard at the
No,
same
you won't.
time.
It's cold. He ain't getting on
I'll
no
snow
snowboard.
surf, homie. Get out of
We
here.
were stuck in a snowstorm and Andre was shivering in the car. He didn't get on no snowboard.
We had the heater on. It was fine.
Oh, he was fine. So
Yeah.
you got your toesies wet.
Yeah, there were puddles.
Anyways, so
You're
they do
literally
this race.
wearing what she just described.
Rude, man.
This is a really good outfit on you. You look
Oh,
good, babe.
there
You
it
look
is.
very nice.
Thank
look,
you.
Wow, yeah, you look
You
good.
look dapper.
Anyway, so they're gonna race from the top of the mountain to the bottom of
Oh,
the
yeah.
mountain, and the person who finishes first is the winner.
The winner.
Takes all. They take all.
I'm the leader.
I'm the leader. I'll say when we can snowboard.
If you haven't listened to the Aristocats episode, you have no idea.
Gotta
They
go back.
have no idea what's going on. We can't do callbacks that late on. Okay.
I know.
Anyways, so right off the bat,
75 episodes
I
ago.
was mad because Johnny says something in Hawaiian to Brett that means like good luck, and then Brett's like, yeah, and then he pushes Johnny down and then gets a head start like the rude person he is.
Right.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I was
rude.
like, why isn't there like a lady up there with a flag?
I told Andre, I was like, why don't they have a ref up here? Like,
Right.
they need a ref.
This is no.
I feel like this is a very serious competition with a lot at stake.
Like a lot at stake.
Literally everybody in the whole town is at the bottom, like watching them, but they don't have a ref.
It's like a 30-year-old with his kids that all snowboard, and they're like, "Wait, our fate is being decided by these 13-year-olds right now. What's happening? Why?" But yeah, so the race is about to begin.
The
and
racist and the bum, like what's happening?
Yeah. It's like the tortoise and the hare. Right
Dude,
before
the race is intense.
Well, right before the races started to begin, guess who shows up? Is knight in shining armor. Sam's here. Ba-da-da-da.
Yeah, because he told his dad that about the race, and then he was like, "It's fine, we'll go to Iceland again. I got my whatever."
He got his
changed
orders delayed or something like that. So
for a race
he didn't have to leave until the day after or something like that.
because of a race.
Apparently.
Yeah,
Okay,
he worked his magic.
This is an
he's
intense.
He's Sergeant
sergeant.
Major.
Yeah.
This is an intense race, everybody.
Mm-hmm. So the race begins. The stunt doubles are up.
This is where it's very clear.
The real
stunt doubles.
Brett and the
Because
real Johnny are
It's
gone.
honestly like scary because they're like pushing each other and like trying to trip each other. And I mean, I understand why they didn't make kids do this because it would look stupid, like not like professionally done. But it's very intense. But it's okay because Johnny wins by like just a hair.
Yeah, they're really going at it. Brett is, despite his
Saboteur.
evil racist mind, he is a good skier, and
Yeah, I guess.
and Johnny has become a really good snowboarder, and so they're flying down this mountain at what looks like 95 miles an hour, and they're like neck and neck the entire time. They're going off
And
jumps.
that's even after he got a substantial head
Yeah,
start.
otherwise
Right.
he would have like won one.
Yeah, I think at one point Johnny like goes through the woods or something like that, and snowboards like around the mountain and catches up to Brett or something like that.
It's intense.
But then the end of the race happens, and Johnny does inch Brett out by just as much and wins the mountain.
I'm surprised there wasn't like a...
I think I won. No, you won. You want to know what the most surprising thing was? Wasn't even the race. It was after the race when
my
Johnny's
God, the
dad was
dad.
like, "We're all going to have a party at my house and you're all invited."
Right? Like, who is this guy?
I know.
I was like, "You're having a party?"
I was very
And then
concerned.
the grandpa was like, "Woohoo!"
Yeah.
The ending of the race literally brought the Skies and the Urchins together as a whole unit and a family immediately. Everybody was like, "Yay!"
Except for Brett, and then Brett's like best friend who was like, "Yeah, Brett, it's over."
the one who had been parroting him the entire movie.
Parroting,
That
yeah,
kid was
totally.
funny.
Okay, so the most... Oh, you didn't say that when the urchins came, they were all wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
very
They
that's
cute.
were.
cute.
It
That
was
was cool.
super
That was cute.
That's dope.
Literally the worst part of the whole movie, and you're gonna be like, it's not that big of a deal. But so the dad's like, let's throw a party, and then he literally is like, I just became a new person. I don't want to parent anymore. Why don't you go live with my dad back in Hawaii?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
done
like,
with you.
what's
Bye.
happening?
Yeah, that was kind of
I
weird.
was like, this is a stretch.
All right.
Okay,
You're doing
They could've-
first a
now.
party, now no parenting. Get out of here.
Yeah, he really two conversations he had changed his entire.
He wasn't gonna go back to Hawaii though. He was fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have thought you were gonna say the weirdest thing of the whole movie is when him and Emily were like slow dancing
That
at the
was
end.
weird. Yeah, she's taller than him. They
Grooving
need
now.
to not do that.
Oh, what did Andre said? It was so funny because they
I'm
started
tallest.
slow
Sizest.
dancing. They started slow dancing, and then Sam goes up to Johnny and like gives him a pat on the back and like whispers something in his ear, and Andre was.
And I made an inappropriate comment.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Oh my.
I'll tell you later.
Get it, dude. Okay. So yeah, that's
I didn't see that part. It must have not been.
It was funny.
and that's the end of.
I must have
Johnny
been watching
Tsunami.
Addie because anytime the music came on, she was grooving.
Oh yeah,
There was a lot of good '90s music. Like,
she loves to groove.
yeah, she was grooving.
Honestly, this movie, A++. Like
For a Disney Channel original, like, It's
I
the
wanna
best one
watch it
I've.
again. Like it wasn't like yes, there was kind of a corny concept with the mountain thing,
Sure.
but the movie was like. Sometimes we've watched a lot of movies at this point, and sometimes I watch a movie and it's like, okay, whatever, But like, no, I was actually like thoroughly watching this movie and enjoying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Eating my popcorn. Super
I
happy.
was much more engaged with this one than with Smart House.
Oh, definitely.
And the performances were better. The writing was better.
Definitely.
The acting was much better too.
Yeah.
The acting
Like
was much better.
none of the kids. I mean, the kids who bugged me were supposed to bug me.
Yeah, they weren't in
And
it very long.
like Johnny was great.
Yeah.
And the grandpas, all
The
of them
grandpa
were
was
great.
good. Okay, tell me, is the grandpa? This is good timing. Is the grandpa the same actor that's gonna play Fa Mulan's dad in the upcoming live action?
What?
Am I correct in saying that?
Very good question.
Because I watched the trailer today.
Oh yes, we'll
did
talk
you-
about the trailer on
did
the
you
crack.
lose your
Let's do
mind?
that.
I did.
I
I
did
felt
too.
so many feels.
I did too.
I had goosebumps. I was thinking things. I was feeling things. I was like, ooh.
I don't believe
Am I wrong?
that it's that guy. The guy who played the original Johnny Tsunami. His name is Carrey Hiroyuki Tagawa. And
Nice.
the
Oh.
person
Well,
from
then maybe not.
Mulan is somebody else. Oop, I went to the 1998 Mulan. That's an easy mistake to make. All right, give me one more moment.
Oh, it wasn't Danny Osmond's singing voice?
Donny Osmond. Danny Osmond.
That's what I said.
Who
I'm
are you
tired.
thinking was going to be the dad?
Danny?
Donnie.
Danny?
Donnie.
Danny boy.
Oh, actually, I don't know the dad's name, like his character's name.
It's Fa Mulan.
Well, no.
Faju. The Faju.
Faju. I don't see Faju.
I don't know if his name is Faju. in
Papa
this version.
Mulan.
Papa Mulan. Oh, wait. Faju. Here we go.
Hey, you were right. It's Faju.
Yes, the dad is being played by Z Ma, who
Dang
you
it.
may remember from
Beef Shavu.
Rush Hour or Arrival.
I'm done. Okay, Michelle, you're as
It's
bad as
Faju.
Brett.
Faju.
Stop.
Beef Faju. Souffle.
Okay, first off,
By
it's
putting
beef
off ragu.
ragu. Okay,
I know I said
cheese
Faju because it's funny.
souffle.
Oh, my goodness.
You are Brett
I
right
said
now.
pea souffle.
This is what happens when we record the podcast at night.
I'm tired.
But full disclosure, we did a really fun thing before this, and I think that's why all of us had a full week long, a full day of work. Then we
This
all
is what
got-
we look forward to.
Yes, we all got together. We took my little ones and we went to
We
our
partied at
the
Christmas
parade.
our Christmas parade. We walked around. We were very joyous. We sang Jingle Bells probably 45 times on the way home.
It's acceptable when you have a toddler.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now we're sitting here, and the sugar is definitely wearing off.
I got sugar in my body. No, not the sprinkles.
Andre's just eating
I hate
sprinkles.
sprinkles.
That's your own problem. Sprinkles are delicious.
Sprinkles.
All right, let's rate this puppy. Oh,
You-
wait. There were some ratings.
Doesn't
I
make
suppose.
money
Did it-
though,
It did not
Oh,
make
no, it
money
doesn't make
because
money.
it
because
is
it's a Disney Channel movie.
Disney Channel original movie. It has a 63% audience score on Rotten
What?
Tomatoes.
Wrong.
That's a D.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a D.
there.
If you were in school,
What they think's better, the
but-
Hannah Montana
But
movie?
these are
Oh.
audience. This is all audience scores. Like one of these 1-star reviews. It says, "Okay, let's be honest here. It's your own fault for watching a film called Johnny Tsunami," and that's like the whole review. So
I
you
don't
know,
Oh,
understand.
so they're just people reviewing it?
yeah, it's just regular people. It's not.
Okay,
critics,
well
stuff like
then
that.
let's review it ourselves. Andre, I'm scared for your
is there
rating.
an IMDb rating?
Oh,
There was one for Smart House
there
last
is.
week.
It is also a 6.3 out of 10. Whoa, that's crazy. I've never seen that happen before. It's the same.
I don't like it.
Wild.
I'm really confused.
They're wrong.
But
Smart
yeah,
House had like an 8.
yeah, that's true. It had a higher score. But yeah, they are all wrong. Johnny Tsunami is.
They're wrong. And I
tippity
will
top.
remind our listeners that we're rating this on a Disney Channel scale, so we're not comparing this to other Disney movies. These are DCOM ratings.
Yeah, this isn't big budget.
These are
Right.
DCOM ratings we are giving this movie. Andre, what are you going to
I
do?
wish I could see the budget.
Gave Smart House a 9.
I gave Smart House a 9, and
not.
Maybe you should lower your Smart House
yes.
score.
So
I don't think you can. We've never done that before.
Oh.
You don't think he
Okay.
can lower it?
Okay, well, okay.
Then
so,
he's screwed. We're watching so many DComs. He's gonna give him all 10s.
I mean,
Well, that's his own damn fault.
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
getting
that's
so-
your fault.
it's my
He's
fault.
gonna be like 9.8,
That's okay.
9.7.
9.2.
I gave.
What did we give Smart House a 7?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Maybe.
think that
I think
sounds-
Emily and I
that
gave it a
sounds
7.
familiar.
6.5.
I gave
7.
Smart House a 9 because I considered it to be the best of the Disney Channel original movies. And upon watching this Disney Channel original movie, I realized that I was completely wrong about that. And with, as I said in the Smart House episode, I didn't enjoy it this much or as much upon this viewing as I did when I was a kid. So like,
But this is the opposite now.
right, this is the opposite.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Johnny Tsunami much more as an adult than I did as a kid, and Smart House less. So even if I'm not reducing Smart House down from a 9 to like probably like a 7.5 or an 8, I still am gonna give Johnny Tsunami a 9.5. It's good, and it does. I think it stacks up against like regular non-TV movies. You know, I think it's
It didn't feel like a TV movie.
right.
It felt like a young Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're going to be like, oh, yeah, this is for young adults.
Like the
but
fact
like,
that Johnny Tsunami came out on TV and like Snow Dogs came out in theaters. I mean, they're
Snow Dogs
Snow
came
Dogs.
out in theater.
I believe so. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I wish you could see
Cuba.
my face right
Cuba Gooding Jr. He was an Oscar winner at that point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely
Do you
better
say
than Snow
Cuba
Dogs.
or is it
Cuba.
I always thought
Cuba
it was,
Gooding Jr.
Cuba.
it's Cuba.
It's
Yeah.
probably Cuba. Yeah.
Okay, I always thought it was Cuba, but
Yeah.
then you said Cuba.
I say
so I'm-
Cuba, but I'm white.
I mean, I said,
Well, Andre's not, and he said
I said
Cuba.
Cuba.
I say crayon, so yeah.
I also say crown. What are we talking about?
You don't you say crayon.
No, you
say
say
crayon.
crayon.
I just said crayon.
Okay.
Oh,
I
I
know.
said crayon before.
Yeah,
and
you
then
said
you guys
crayon
said it
for the
so
first
much
time.
that I started saying
She
crayon.
just said it
We
for the
beat
first
it out
time
of you,
correctly.
yeah.
Yeah,
We did
'cause
it.
What'd you do to my brain?
Crayon.
You say crayon. I don't say crayon.
Yeah, it's because I said crayon. You guys are like, what? What's a crayon?
Anyway,
Very.
so yeah, I'm giving Johnny Tsunami a 9.5. Very good,
All right.
jolly good. Do recommend. Watch it tonight.
I'm
Go.
also gonna give Johnny Tsunami
Disney
a 9,
Plus.
a 9.5 because it's stinking good. I already want to watch it again. It's so fun. The only reason I'm knocking off a little bit is because the whole mountain thing is a little bit weird, and like I don't like Brett and I don't really like Emily. So, but the thing is, now I'm kind of scared going forward with these DComs because what if Xenon sucks? You know, like
It is. FYI, I just had a full conversation today with someone at my job
that Xenon
about
sucks.
yes. They were like,
No.
the girl, it was so cute. She was like, I loved Xenon so much as a kid. I remember taking her picture into my hairdresser and being like, I want Xenon hair. Like, she was 100%
Yeah.
in love with Xenon. She even kind of looks like her, like super blonde. Anywho, and she's like, I just rewatched it with my husband because I was super excited. She's like, and it was awful.
Oh
and I was
my
like,
gosh.
oh no.
But that's the beauty of this is that Disney Plus. Thank you so much, Disney Plus, that we're getting like to relive parts of our childhood through this, and maybe a movie like Johnny Tsunami that kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit. Now we're like, everybody gonna watch Johnny Tsunami. It's good.
Or they should.
They
Right.
should
They're
watch
not
Johnny
going to.
Tsunami.
Yeah.
The only movie that I'm gonna be real upset if I don't end up liking is the 13th Year because that was my jam.
I
So.
don't even remember that.
I remember that
It's
one
about a kid who
lot.
he turns 13, he turns into a mermaid, a
A
merman.
merman.
Of course you would.
Yeah, you know,
That
typical
does
Michelle.
not sound exciting to me. That literally sounds like
He has scales. Okay.
yeah, that sounds disgusting.
It's not disgusting. It's really cool. And I thought when I was 13, I was going to turn into a mermaid, and I didn't.
Am I getting it confused with 13 Candles?
This is you 16 candles. Throw a couple more candles on there.
Or Luck of the Irish. That one's good too. Okay. Anyways, Emily,
Double
what are you
team.
gonna
Tall,
give?
blonde
What are you gonna give Johnny Tsunami?
basketball players? What?
Johnny Tsunami rating.
9.
9.
Jolly
You go, Glenn Coco.
good. I've never said jolly good, but you usually say
Jolly
it in the-
good.
Jolly good.
Jolly
Jolly
good.
good.
Yeah, Andre does say that a lot. Jolly good.
I thought it was very good. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the cast. I liked the whole theme. Literally hated the bully, which was
Yeah.
was riveting.
I
But
don't know if
I-
I hated the bully or the dad more.
That's what I was
honestly.
just about to say.
No, that-
it's pretty close.
And this is gonna be awful of me, but I could not stand the face of the dad. Like he would do very weird things with his face. It was making me like
Squeal.
yeah, and just didn't I couldn't stand him. But what are you gonna do?
What are you
What are you gonna do?
Indeed.
But Johnny Tsunami and Sam,
This movie was only made 20 years ago. It's not like we can go back and fix it. So.
Johnny Tsunami and Sam made up for it. So
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Sam,
That kid has gorgeous eyes.
Sam?
Like, yes, especially when they
Sam,
were in the
Sam,
snow
Sam,
because
Sam.
it was so like contrasted. He had
Yeah.
like honey colored eyes.
Right.
They were beautiful.
So
What if my son looks like that?
I had kind of forgotten about this, and I guess it's kind of a downer to end the
I
episode on.
suppose your
But
son did he die or something?
Lee Thompson Young, the actor who played Sam, he died in 2013 at the age
What?
of 29. Yeah.
What?
I don't know how. I don't have that information quite yet, but I guess I can look it up.
What?
My heart.
Yeah, and I've seen him in other stuff. He played Cyborg on Smallville, the Superman show on the CW, and that was when he was in his like mid-20s or whatever. I was like, I remember you from the Disney Channel, dog. And then it was shortly after that he passed on. Let's see here.
That makes me really sad.
Yeah, he was found in his apartment in L.A. His manager stated that he had committed suicide. Yeah. Yep. So that's sad.
That's really unfortunate.
So R.I.P.
Oh,
Lee Thompson Young, because he's a really really talented guy who reminds me of me a lot. Yeah,
Hopefully not that much.
Right. Well, not that far. No.
How about the guy who plays Johnny Schmummy?
Johnny Schmummy.
Johnny Schmermy. Does he still have long hair?
I don't
Probably.
believe so. Let's see. His name is
Johnny Schmummy. I'm gonna start saying that now.
His name is Brandon Baker.
That's not Johnny
Played
Schmummy.
Johnny Capahala. Looks like he's still kicking.
Oh my god. We ended on a dark note. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
Bug juice. I gotta sing bug juice now. Bug juice.
Yeah, he doesn't really act too much
Make
anymore.
your friends
Having fun. Bug juice. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He's still
so
alive.
he's
Everything's
still,
good.
still alive, and he's still doing some stuff.
He's staying alive. Stop.
Goodness gracious.
Anyways, let's talk about what we're doing next week.
next week or next time, we on the
Oh,
Walt
Christmas.
Vault.
Wait, I want to use like a announcer voice. Next time on the Walt Vault.
That's your announcer voice.
It wasn't good. You try it. You try it, babe.
Next week on the Walt Vault.
Next time on the Walt Vault.
Why do we all sound creepy? Next time.
Because it's like at the end of an episode.
Bruce Wayne. Next time.
Wait,
on
say it as
the
Bane.
Walt Vault.
Say it as Bane.
Oh, Jesus.
Next time on the Walt Vault.
That was not Bane.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't.
Oh, I was born in the dark.
You think this gives you power over me?
Oh, there you
Say
go.
I was
That
born in the
good.
darkness.
I was born in the darkness.
That's my
Oh.
favorite.
All right.
Every time.
Next
hate
week
that so
we
much.
Sorry.
are doing the Jim Carrey 3D animated film A Christmas Carol, which I believe came out in 2014.
9,
Not 19.
Oh, 9.
I remember it coming out, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, I have not seen this either. Have you seen it, Emily?
I have seen it.
Oh, okay.
And guess what?
Mm.
I saw it in theaters.
Oh,
You did?
there you
did.
go. It was 2009.
Okay,
You're right.
Andre and I have not seen it.
It came out the year we were born. I mean,
What? The year we graduated high school.
2009?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. We're old, youngin'.
She said the year she was born. I was
Oh,
like,
right, yeah.
Emily's 10?
Mhm.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
On the Walt Vault. Yes. So go to Disney Plus. Check out Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol. We'll be talking about it next time. Right.
thank you for
before-
voting for it.
Yes. Thank you for voting. And honestly, you guys surprised me because between Home Alone, A Christmas Carol, and Noel, I thought.
We thought Noel since it was newer.
Well, I thought A Christmas Carol was the weakest of the
Yeah.
three. But I haven't seen it. So I don't.
I haven't
don't
seen
know.
it. Yeah, I don't know.
But I figured you guys would
I'm gonna watch
choose
it now.
the classic Home Alone or the new one.
I'll probably
Noel.
watch all three of them, quite honestly, because I can.
Yeah.
So.
Because we can.
Because we can.
Yeah, so that episode,
Disney Plus.
the Christmas Carol episode, will be dropping on the 23rd of December. We'll give you a little Christmas gift of talking about the Christmas movie. Join us then. In the meantime, you can join us on social media. We are at the Walt Vault Pod. Go there, subscribe to us on all your podcast platforms. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment below. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, do all those YouTube things. Everybody else, leave us a rating and review on YouTube or iTunes or Spotify, wherever you got to go. Those are all very helpful. And if you want extra content, you can go to patreon.com/thewaltvault. We give you extra shows and notes and video game gameplays and all kinds of good stuff over there. And gifts in the mail. So sign up. It's very cheap.
Every time you say gifts, I think you're saying like gifts.
Gifts.
We will send you.
Well, yeah, we got gifts and gifts. You know what I'm
Can't send
saying?
a gift in the mail.
You don't know that?
It's not going to be a moving gift.
I'll put on a USB drive or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
We won't do that.
Crazy.
Yeah, so
We
go
might.
to patreon.com/thewaltvault. That really helps us keep the lights on in this vault. That has been it for this week, you guys. Oh, we have more?
Yeah, I just wanted to say a quick shout out to 2 of our
Ooh,
listeners.
yes.
Oh.
We wanted to
Shout
say
out.
a big thank you to those people who reach out to us consistently and or when we, I don't know, make your Spotify
2019
2019 Wrapped list.
number 1
Wrapped.
podcast.
top podcast list.
Yeah.
We love it when you guys reach out to us, and we actually get quite a few every week now, and Andre's very excited about this.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
we want to say a special shout out to Plain and Simple Music. Thank you for so much for listening to us. We really appreciate it. And also the Roomy Night podcast. We have multiple listeners there, but especially Catherine Barajas. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
man.
listening to us.
She listened to us for over like 2,000 minutes, and that means I've talked for over 2,000 minutes, and I apologize to y'all.
It was 2,700 minutes. Okay, that is way over. That's almost 3,000 minutes of Michelle.
I'm
talking
so
about
I'm
mermaids
so
and
sorry.
A
scales
lot of
and
Michelle
things.
minutes. I mean,
I
it's
wanna
nowhere near the
be
amount of
there.
Michelle minutes that I get to experience at home, but
Whoa.
it's a lot.
That's true.
Oh,
Well, thanks, guys.
Millions of minutes. All right,
that's
yes.
a lot of scales.
I like scales.
Scales. Yes, thank you guys so much for listening, for commenting, for doing all that you do.
Scales and tails.
Keep it up, scales and tails.
Keep it up. We love y'all. That's it for next time, or that's it for this time. We'll see you next time. The vault is now closed.